Hey everybody, MichaelBtheGameGenie here, and on today's video we're talking all about Arcade1Up's NBA Jam Shaq Edition, or as some people are calling it, Shaq Jam. Anyways, Shaq Jam is now available for pre-order from Arcade1Up, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little concerned about it, but probably not for the reason you think I am. So that's right guys, today we're talking about NBA Jam Shaq Edition, the second XL cabinet coming out from Arcade1Up this year. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I have been very open about this right from the beginning. I'm not in love with this cabinet. I don't think I'm going to pick it up. So like I mentioned, the NBA Jam Shaq Edition is now available to pre-order from Arcade1Up directly. I think it's coming to some retailers as of May 5th. Price point is $6.99 US. Don't be confused by that. That's just a conversion to Canadian. Price here in Canada is going to be $8.99 when it hits retail. So for those of you that have been following me for a while here on YouTube, you know I would very famously have incorrectly guessed that at the Shaq Funhouse event during Super Bowl weekend, they were going to announce NFL Blitz, but instead they didn't, to the surprise of nobody outside of me and very hopeful people. Instead of announcing NFL Blitz, they announced the NBA Jam Shaq Edition, which was a remade NBA Jam XL cabinet with a 19-inch screen, more robust, regular arcade-type features. And immediately when I saw it, I said, this is really cool. But as time has gone on, I have picked apart the machine a little bit and decided it's not for me. One of the reasons why is, if you take a look at this picture right here, and has been really prevalent on the Arcade1Up XL cabinet so far, they're using a new monitor, which is a Lightstar monitor, I do believe. And they are having absolute nightmare issues with shadowing, much like the early Gen 1 Arcade1Ups, but honestly, it looks like it's more reminiscent of what happens with the countercades, and you know the viewing on those countercades are absolutely terrible unless you're absolutely dead on. And I mean, even in the product image here, the actual product image they took, you can see the ghosting from a mile away. I mean, this does not look great, unfortunately. Maybe directly in front of it, it might look better. I don't really know. I do want to give a huge shout out here to my buddy Justin Console Kits, who did an excellent video yesterday discussing why he won't be buying the Arcade1Up NBA Jam cabinet, and his focus mainly was on the quality of the screen. So if you guys want a more detailed description of why the screen quality is so bad and what he thinks of it specifically, I'll put a link to Justin's video in the description down below. Definitely go check it out. But for me, guys, before we even got to the screen issue, I will just very openly tell you my big issue with this cabinet was the fact that it's the first XL cabinet that, you know, is different than Golden Tee. It's going to appeal more than just to bar people. It has a real big arcade following from the arcade hardcore, such as myself. This is a cabinet I absolutely would have bought and added to my collection, except for the fact that they did, in my opinion, what is a massive no-no with Arcade1Up cabinets. They changed the art on the side of the cabinet, and instead of having the proper NBA logo here and making this a one-for-one recreation from the, well, not one-for-one, but a recreation of the original arcade cabinet, they decided to brand it with the Shaq image here, which I don't see Shaq there. Now, that's Shaq. I remember the one on the front, like, even if they had just put that on the front, I'd be pissed off there's no coin door, but at least this image, I remember, that's been Shaq's logo all along. That was Shaq's logo even on his sneakers, if I'm not mistaken. But this one, I don't know what the hell this is. But anyways, we got the NBA Jam Shaq Edition, or as I call it, the NBA Jam Shitty Art Edition. I will tell you right now, Arcade1Up, at no point, you're talking about a very, very minute number of the fan base that want to have cabinets with specialized stuff, Supreme, Clot, and it's fine to do a limited edition Shaq cabinet for dedicated Shaq fans or specific people who want some, but the fact that you're using this as your main retail product for NBA Jam just really, really concerns me that it's so off base with what your core fan base want, and you're probably saying, oh, the casuals won't care, they'll buy them up. I don't think the casual and mainstream buyer base is as strong as everybody thinks, and I do think Arcade1Up do have to rely rely on us, the 1% or whatever you want to call us, the hardcore fans, for the majority of their purchases. And I think this is, I'm going to use a strong term here, kind of spit in the face of those hardcore fans. So very, very odd choice not to use the real art. So those are the two big gripes I have with this cabinet. Now, I will say positive from a size perspective. This looks very comfortable. I don't know if the control panel is going to be much wider, but it definitely looks like it's taller. I love the fact that there's no riser, and that marquee absolutely looks awesome. They did such a good job with that. The form factor is incredible. Everything except for the art and the screen on this cabinet scream buy me. Buy me. I think the XL is such a cool concept. It's just those two things, the screen and the art, are screwing it up. Here's the deal, guys. I've been very open about this. I wasn't going to get this cab from the hop. The minute I saw it, I knew it wasn't the right cab for me. And definitely the screen issues that have come to light about the XL cabinets and the screens they're using so far definitely scared me off more so than even the art did originally, I guess. But the art was enough to make me say no. So you're saying, Mike, this is no surprise. We knew you weren't getting it. Why are you concerned? I'm concerned because of the back end on this. That Arcade1Up is going to look at this. If it fails, if it's not a success, you know, this goes out to retail and people just don't buy it, people aren't pre-ordering it, that Arcade1Up's going to get the wrong message from it. So guys, Arcade1Up is bringing us the NBA Jam XL cabinet, and there's so many things that I actually really like about this cabinet and fans have been clamoring for a while. I mean, look at the size of this cabinet, look at the display, look at the way everything looks. I mean, it looks amazing. The form factor, the button layout, the height, the marquee, everything looks great, but there's some problems that Arcade1Up need to be aware of that are going to bring this cabinet down, and I don't want them to think that the problem is the XL cab isn't consumer friendly. First and foremost is the issues with the screen that we mentioned. They have to be aware with this. It's not the fact that consumers don't want to spend more money. It's not the fact that consumers don't want to buy an XL cab in this form factor. We absolutely do. But the two problems you're going to have with this cab are very clear. It's the screen. The screen is not good. And I know some Arcade1Up hardcore fanboys have been coming out making videos defending the screen, saying if you look directly at it, it won't be a problem. But I mean, goodness, look at this screen from this distance. You can see the washout even on the promo shots. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it. There's serious washout issues. If you go back to Justin Console Kit's video from yesterday, I didn't realize how bad it was till he shows directly up front, and you can look as he moves his camera, it's picking up the shadowing directly right in front of the cabinet. It's so bad, and you're going to see this when you're playing on the Arcade1Up NBA Jam from a slight angle. You're going to see washout while you're directly in front of the cab. It's just not going to work. So there's no doubt in my mind that until Arcade1Up fix the issue with the screen, get better screens, my God, I hope they have some kind of return policy with the screens they've purchased here, because these are not going to work. They're certainly not going to work on the Pro model. So Arcade1Up, we have to realize this brand, Pro and XL, the bigger cabs, aren't going to be a success until they have a bigger screen. And then the second point that I'm hammering really home here is the fact that Arcade1Up fans, mainstream fans, anybody who buys your product is going to want a recreation of the original cabinet. They're not going to want some kind of specialty product tie-in celebrity cab like Shaq and NBA Jam. This is just not what we want. So if the product doesn't sell, it's because of these two factors. It's the fact that you have the wrong art, and the screen's really bad. Now, I know some people, again, people that are crazy Arcade1Up fanboys, and other people will say, what does it matter anyways? You're just going to jam the cabinet next to another one. You won't even see the side art. It matters. We're buying recreations of arcade cabinets. If we didn't care about the art, we didn't care about the cabinet, we'd just buy a multicade. So you guys are selling nostalgia. Get nostalgia right. Anyways, guys, that's all I'm really going to say on this. I usually do a should you buy video on new cabinets, especially when they come out. I don't think I'm going to do one on this one because I don't think I'm the right person, because I know for a fact I'm not going to buy it. So where I have no interest inside my own heart, I don't feel like I'd be a good person to tell you that you should pick up the cabinet. Now, at the same time, for everything I'm saying here, no judgment if you're interested. If you're excited for this cabinet, cool. I'm just trying to put a video out there to explain to Arcade1Up and to the ethers, anybody who's listening out there in the realms, that understand that if there is a problem with the sales of this cabinet, it's not resulted to the fact, that's my concern, that consumers don't want to buy a cabinet at this price point with these size and specs. That's not it at all. It's very specific to the fact that you've got a poor screen put in there, and then also the art is all messed up. So that's why the cabinet may do poorly. Maybe it'll be a complete commercial success and I'm off my rocker. I don't know, but anyways, that's where I stand. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Arcade1Up NBA Jam Shaq Edition, Arcade1Up NBA Jam XL, Arcade1Up Shaq Jam? Let me know in the comments. Do you think Arcade1Up have knocked it out of the park, or do you agree with the issues that I have, that these XL cabinets aren't going to sell without a better screen that's more reminiscent of the 17-inch BOE monitor and more arcade accurate art to match the arcade accurate form factor? Alright guys, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.